Good morning, fellas, and welcome back to Me Plays Games, where we play games. My name is Matt, and today we're taking a look at Super Mario Galaxy's world record speedrun. I'll be talking about the route and techniques used in the record, and if you want to try this run yourself, there will be resources linked in the description for you. There's a 200-page tutorial document that goes into a ton of detail about the run, and it was my main source for information in this video. It's a tad bit outdated in some places, but it's still a good place to start. Be sure to subscribe to Me Plays Games for more speedrunning and speedcubing content, and join our Discord server, link in the description. Shoutouts to the Super Mario Galaxy speedrunning Discord server for helping me with this video. They pointed out to me that the route for this run has actually changed since the most recent world record was set, so I'll be showing you the differences as we go. Alright, let's get started. So in this game, there are separate leaderboards for runs where you play as Mario and Luigi. Luigi runs faster and jumps higher than Mario, but he accelerates to top speed slower, has lower traction so he slips around more, has harder cosmic clone races, and can't swim as long before running out of air. Overall, playing as Luigi saves about 8 to 10 minutes over Mario. In this video, we'll mostly be talking about the Luigi run, but I will talk about the differences between the Luigi and Mario runs as they come up. The world record holder in the any percent category with Mario is a runner named HardcoreGaming, and the any percent Luigi record belongs to Vallu, with times of 2 hours, 27 minutes, 6 seconds, and 2 hours, 19 minutes, 2 seconds respectively. The difference in time between the two records is actually kind of misleading. Around half of the time saved comes at the very beginning of the run, because Luigi playthroughs don't include the intro cutscenes, so right off the bat Mario is at about a 4.5 minute disadvantage. The first order of business is the Gateway Galaxy, where you need to catch 3 bunnies. First, you get the one hiding in the crater. Shoot it with a star bit to make catching it easier. Catching bunnies is harder with Mario since he runs slower, so runners will time the star bit shot a little later than they would with Luigi. Next, go for the bunny in the grass. There are a few different setups, but the one we see in the world record is one where you turn the camera before running into the grass, then aiming star bits at the bunny. Finally, you go for the bunny hiding in the pipe. Meet Rosalina and get your hands on a Luma. He gives you the ability to spin, which allows you to jump higher, beat enemies, and interact with certain objects in the world, universe? We visit a ton of galaxies, so I guess that's the whatever. Then head for the Star Chip planet. In order to get the first Star Chip, you need to break a crystal, which you can do with a technique called the spin cancel. Basically, whenever you spin on the ground, you can cancel the animation midway through with a jump. If you have a running start, you can spin cancel into a long jump, which can come in handy later on. The other 4 chips are fairly straightforward, and it's on to the next planet. Here you have to rescue a Luma by finding a key. Runners will make sure to jump on this Goomba with the key instead of spinning, since you don't have to hit it again if you jump on it. Same idea on the next planet, except you don't have to talk to the Luma that's trapped here. In the Grand Star room, there's a 4-frame trick called Luma Skip you can do to save 10 to 15 seconds. Usually when you enter the room, a Luma will immediately start talking to you, but if you jump within that 4-frame window, you can skip that conversation. After jumping, you can spin, then press Z to do a homing ground pound to get to the first flip switch faster. The hitboxes on these flip switches are kind of wonky, so you have to be pretty careful. You can also skip a conversation with the Luma by the Grand Star with a spin. By this point, Vallu doesn't have any star bits left since he used them on the bunnies, because in certain levels you actually want to make sure you finish with 0 star bits by shooting them away at some point during the level. That's because anytime you collect star bits in a level, a dialogue box will appear showing how many you got after you collect the star and return to the Observatory. You also want to avoid coins for the same reason. Runners will get some star bits in certain levels, since you can use them to feed hungry Lumas, especially in the 120 star category, but today we're looking at any percent. When you get back to the Comet Observatory, be sure to hit no when the game asks you to save. You'll be doing this after every star in the game. Other Mario games like Super Mario 3D World allow you to do a technique called Save Skip, where you nearly fill up your console or external drive storage space so that there's no room to save the game. That way, the game won't try to save after every level. That's a typo in my script, Leviful. That's great. This technique is banned in Galaxy though, so you'll have to go through the dialogue box after every level. Note that in this game you can do long jump chains by holding down Z the entire time, and just pressing the jump button every time you hit the ground. The first mission in Good Egg Galaxy is the Dino Piranha boss fight. This is the first galaxy where you want to collect some star bits. The guide link down below recommends getting around 53. Luigi can also get up to this launch star more easily than Mario, since he can triple jump to land here, then do another jump to get up to the star. On this peanut planet, we see a technique called the landing cancel. Whenever you land on a new planet, you can press up and down on the D-pad in quick succession to cut your landing animation short. because apparently screwing with the camera makes you move faster. That makes sense. You also need to collect 5 star chips, avoiding the sludge as best you can. Keep in mind that landing cancels don't work when you land at the start of a new level, so runners will do a frame-perfect jump to cancel the landing whenever possible. On the 3rd planet, runners will do what's known as a gravity skip, where you jump up to get pulled down by a different planet's gravitational pull. This skips the need to kill a piranha plant to turn it into a vine. Do another gravity skip to get to the 5th planet and it's on to the boss fight. The battle is pretty straightforward, but keep in mind you can shoot a few star bits at Dino Piranha's tail to slow him down. Be sure to long jump into the star and head back to the Observatory. And then immediately go back to the terrace for the 2nd star of the galaxy. But we've got one thing to take care of first. During the Starbit tutorial, you feed this Luma 5 Starbits. You also collect 7 more here, giving you a little bit more breathing room when it comes to Starbits later on. Next up, a snack of cosmic proportions, although runners typically refer to stars by names like Good Egg 2, since this is the 2nd star of the Good Egg Galaxy. This time you need to get 100 Starbits to feed the Hungry Luma in this mission. Be sure to kill these 3 Slurples to get Starbits from them, then home and ground pound off this Luma into the launch star. And yes, I just learned what those enemies are called. Sounds like something you'd get at a knockoff 7-Eleven. Welcome to 812, try our new salt-flavored Slurples. 2 planets later, you'll find the Hungry Luma, and hopefully at this point you have exactly 100 Starbits. Feed him, then head off to this planet. As you might imagine, the Starbits you're able to collect depends on the aspect ratio you're playing on, since 16:9 and 4:3 will be able to show you different parts of the screen for you to point at. You can get extra Starbits in this galaxy on 4:3, but 16:9 is faster overall. Make your way through this pill planet with weird gravity and long jump towards the star on the final planet. You know, I did a Let's Play of this game on the channel a while back, and I honestly didn't know you could just jump towards the star till I tried it. Can I just long jump towards that star? Morbid curiosity! Oh, wow! Never mind. Healthy curiosity, apparently. In the current route, you do the 3rd star in Good Egg, the boss fight against King Caliente. All footage of the new route is coming from 2nd place runner MrCloudKirby. Vallu's world record run skips this star and moves on to the next galaxy instead. Normally, you're supposed to kill these, octopus guys to lower the bridge, but you can just long jump across instead. To beat the boss, we see MrCloudKirby jump a little bit forward so the coconut doesn't have to travel as far while Luigi and King Caliente play tennis. 40 love! Oh, he died. Well, I guess Luigi wins by default. Next up, Honeyhive 1. There's a beginner strat where you don't do as big or fancy of a skip, but we'll be looking at the advanced strat for this video. It starts with a technique called a slope climb, where you constantly spin in order to climb the slope you normally can't scale. Then you do slope jumps, which is essentially spinning with good timing in the air while facing backwards to climb slopes. Slope jumps allow you to get all the way up this tree, then you can wall jump over to the tree the Toad Brigade is on and get your star. This advanced route cuts out a big chunk of the level, and it also makes it so that you don't have to climb all over the Queen Bee's body. Thank God. This is a pretty hard star for Mario though. To give you an idea of how hard, the guide I'm using spends 6.5 pages detailing ways to get up the tree as Mario. Honeyhive 2 starts the same way as the last star, with a slope climb and slope jump to get up to the tower. Now you do what's called the tower climb. Instead of using the launch star, you can backflip, then wall jump and slope jump onto this platform. Backflip your way up to the windmill and use its right arm as a platform to get up to the Stinkbug Parent mini-boss. And yes, that is indeed what this enemy is called. Learn something new every day, myself included. I'm learning a lot researching this video. We're also going to do Honeyhive 3 while we're at it. Head through this tunnel and have a little chat with the Queen Bee. Tell her she looks fabulous today and head for the boss Bugaboom. Since we destroyed Honeyhive 1 with slope nonsense, this is the first appearance of the bee mushroom in this run. The longer you spend on the ground, the better, because flying as a bee is way slower. The first hit is pretty straightforward, just ground pound the boss. The hit might not register though if you don't pound from high enough. The bee suit removes a lot of movement options, so for the 2nd and 3rd hits, runners actually ditch the suit by stepping in the water. Now we're able to do triple jumps again, which we use for the 2nd hit. Then for the 3rd hit, runners will line themselves up to triple jump on Bugaboom right when he's parallel to the ground again. There's also a slower option where you line up a backflip instead. Next up, Surfing 101 in the Loop-de-Loop Galaxy. Huh, I took that class my first semester at Middle of the Desert University. It wasn't a very good class. This is a candidate for dumbest joke I've ever written for this show. Oh. See you later, I guess. Yeah, apparently you can skip the ray surfing tutorial by throwing yourself into the void and dying twice. Once again, learn something new every day. Anyway, you want to aim for a time between 56 seconds and 1 minute. You actually don't have to avoid the coins in this level, since the extra time it would take to dodge them cancels out the time you would waste with the extra dialogue box saying you collected coins. This is the star that MrCloudKirby skipped in favor of Good Egg 3. Another 1-star galaxy? Don't mind if I do. Welcome to Flip Switch Galaxy, where you just have to touch all the blue platforms to turn them yellow to get the star. The mission is pretty straightforward, but it can be difficult to get the right cycle with the red spiky platforms. If they get in the way, you can lose some time here. With 8 stars in tow, it's time for the first Bowser Jr. level, Mega Legs Moon. Normally, there's a level you're supposed to play before the boss fight, but with a triple jump we can actually gravity skip all the way to the boss planet. Guide one bullet bill into the cage, then guide a second one over it with a backflip to get the Grand Star. Aren't video games great? With 2 Grand Stars down, we can move on to the next dome, the Fountain. First stop, Space Junk 1, Polestar Path. There's a really weird gravity skip here at the beginning of the level that you can use to skip ahead to meet the Toad Brigade. I lied, there's actually a strat here called Sludgy Hop where you just triple jump up to the Sling Star, skipping the Toad Brigade bit of this level. Shoutouts to the Sludgy Gamer for discovering this one. On the final quote-unquote planet, there are 5 silver stars you need to collect. Normally, you're supposed to use platforms that spawn in front of you, but Luigi said that's lame, so we just decided to long jump at the stars and hope for the best. Space Junk 2 Camella's Airship attack features a few small tricks that can speed things up. For one, you can just long jump across to this platform the bunny is on, instead of lowering the bridge. Mario can do it as well, but he needs to spin to get all the way over. After using 2 shells to take out these weird octopus guys— wait, hang on, what are these things actually called? Oh, come on, Nintendo, you're more creative than this. Anyway, after killing them, you take a 3rd shell into the boss fight to get a quick first hit against Camella. Land 2 more hits and that's another star down. Before the run starts, you can do pattern manipulation so that Camella will always throw green shells instead of fireballs. These next 2 stars are part of the current route, but not the world record. First up, Space Junk 3, Tarantox's Tangled Web. Here you can do a long jump to skip the first sling pod, and eventually you'll make it to the boss fight against Tarantox. Use the sling pods to hit the orbs on its body, then on the second phase you can flip it over by just shooting a star bit at the big orb. Then MrCloudKirby feeds a hungry Luma outside the dome and goes for the Sling Pod Galaxy, which is a great level because it's quick and an easy opportunity to get a ton of star bits for later. It does cost star bits to unlock, but hey, you win some, you lose some. Welcome to Rolling Green Galaxy. At the start of the level, you're meant to roll down some rails to the main part of the level, but you can actually do a jump called Rail Skip to land down here faster. The most important thing to remember here is to not run over any Goombas. If you do, you'll lose all your speed and have to accelerate again. You know how I said you want to avoid coins wherever you can? Well, that's borderline impossible here if you're trying to go fast. Oh well. Next stop, Battle Rock 1, Battle Rock Barrage. Rhymes with garage, not carriage. Once again, you can do a triple jump to get up to this launch star before you're supposed to. In order to get the height you need, runners will also hold back on the control stick after the 3rd jump. In this section, you're normally supposed to ride a platform to the end, but Vallu actually does this jump to get over the rocks, then jumps across them to get to the end of the level. Then he lures a bullet bill to this cage to claim his prize. In the current route, this is the only star you get from Battle Rock Galaxy for now, but Vallu gets 3 more from here. In Battle Rock 2, you blow up cages with bombs on the first 2 planets, then navigate this Polestar maze to reach the Battle Rock section. You need to save a Luma by breaking a moving crystal, and you can actually go into first-person mode to manipulate said crystal's position to make it easier to aim at. The final planet is pretty straightforward and not that much different from a casual playthrough. Just carry a bomb to the other side to unlock the cannon to shoot yourself with the star. If you miss, Luigi flies off into space, never to be seen again, and the game crashes. The end. Okay, but could you imagine if that actually happened? Nobody would want to play this game. We'll get back to Battle Rock in a second, but now it's time for the first prankster comet of the run, Space Junk's Polestar Path Speedrun. As you might imagine, this star is exactly the same as how we did it the first time, except there are no checkpoints, so if you die, you spawn back at the start of the level. That can lose you up to a minute depending on how far you got. Back to Battle Rock Galaxy for the top Maniac level. Free this Luma and crouch to avoid the electric fence. After some gravity nonsense, it's onto this planet where you can do a triple jump to get up to the Sling Star without jumping on the jump beamer. And yeah, I learned this enemy's name while researching this video too. What is that, 93 enemies whose names I didn't know? Eventually, you'll make it to the top Maniac fight. There's nothing too fancy with this battle, just jump on him and send him spinning into the electric bars 3 times. You know, just 15 times faster than I could ever do casually. Once again, we have to do a prankster comet star here, and this time it's a Daredevil run of the boss fight we just did. Which means you only have 1 health to work with and you just can't get hit. So just fight him the same way you did the first time. Second verse same as the first, except we skipped over the long-winded guitar solo this time. Bowser's Star Reactor features a death warp, where you skip walking around this long windy platform. Runners can throw themselves off the side with a backflip and skip ahead in the level by hitting an invisible checkpoint further ahead. For those of you keeping score at home, that's 3 intentional deaths. That's the worst Count Von Count impression you're gonna hear today, but with any luck you won't hear any more, so it'll also be the best. You can also trigger the Bowser boss fight early. Just long jump and spin from the staircase to land on the platform at the top. For the first hit, you can just run straight into Bowser and spin to cancel his attack. He'll ground pound into the lava and burn his tail. Hit him with a spin, then hit him again while he's on his back. For the second and third hits, you can either crawl or jump towards Bowser, then spin to cancel his attack again. Once that song and dance is over, you've got yourself your third Grand Star. That unlocks the kitchen, where we'll be making a sandwich and heading for Beach Bowl Galaxy. Beach Bowl 1 features a major skip where you can use this tree as a stepping stone to get up to the crystal containing the star. Normally, you're supposed to collect 5 star chips to make a launch star appear to reach the top of the planet, so this saves a ton of time. Hidden within the game's code is a secret attribute called Tilt. If you have bad tilt, this triple jump can be straight up impossible. In Beach Bowl 2, the objective is to steal from a child. Grab the golden shell from this penguin, then in order to surface, runners will tap A to make sure they don't get stuck on this platform. Then before moving on to Beach Bowl 3, runners will go for the secret star, while jumping up waterfalls. Find the secret launch star and you'll be taken to a planet with waterfalls and an ice flower to help you scale them. The fastest way to move as Ice Mario is skating long jumps, which is basically just the same inputs as a regular long jump, but on ice. Trademark. At the end of the level, you can triple jump up to the star instead of having the Cataquack boost you up. 10 points if you guessed that this strat is called Cataquack Skip. Points can be redeemed in Skyrim, your local library, and vending machines with Pepsi in B2. It's important to note that this skip only works if the ice flower runs out at exactly the right time, since you need to spin once with it, then spin a second time when you power back down. Yeah, go figure, today I learned that losing your power-up refreshes your spin. Huh. Welcome to Ghostly Galaxy. The first star is Luigi and the Haunted Mansion. I could make a joke here about how Luigi is saving himself in this level, but everyone in the observable universe has beaten me to the punch, so I'll pass. There's a hidden rainbow star here, which you can use to insta-kill the Boo that pops out of this painting to get a key. Do your best to not touch anything to maintain top speed while collecting these star chips. On the final planet, there's a technique called Mansion Clip, where you clip inside this wall and save Luigi on the other side, skipping the need to go through the mansion normally with the Boo Mushroom. Okay, it's gonna be really awkward to talk about stars where both Luigis are involved, isn't it? One of the reasons we need star bits is to feed this hungry Luma outside the terrace. Doing that unlocks the Sweet Sweet Galaxy. Before you head off, be sure to talk to yourself for later. As for Sweet Sweet Galaxy, this level consists mostly of long jumping over and over and over. Now we're gonna head back to the terrace for a few more stars. First up, a Cosmic Clone race in Honeyhive. For these races, you can get what's called a starting boost by holding Z during the countdown, then pressing A within 5 frames of the word GO appearing on screen. Instead of going left like the arrow says, you can actually take a shortcut by continuing to go straight past the arrows, then falling down to the star down here. Legend has it the Cosmic Clone didn't see us leave and thinks he took a wrong turn. Next up is the shortest star of the game, Luigi on the Roof in the Good Egg Galaxy. A lot of people probably figured out that you can reach Luigi by just triple jumping and wall jumping up to him, but the speedrun uses this strat instead, bouncing off this Octoomba to get the height necessary to reach yourself. The reason they don't go for the triple jump strat is because with that strat he'll spin around as well, and you have to wait for that animation to end before you get the star. Back to the Beach Bowl Galaxy for the secret undersea cavern. Since you already selected this star in order to get the secret waterfall one, you can skip the cutscene where Luigi flies into the galaxy. Make your way through the cave and launch into this planet with the Tox boxes and thwomps. Here there's a strat called Beach Bowl 3 Skip, where you long jump from the top left corner of this platform over to the crystal. This is also possible with Mario, but it's way more difficult, so only the best of the best runners will go for it. Then there's a fast faux prankster Comet that appears in Beach Bowl. Luigi can do the same thing as last time, but there's an alternate strat with Mario, where you use this Tox box to catapult you up like so. This saves about 4 seconds over the normal strat. There's a glowing stalagmite in Ghostly Galaxy 2 containing a launch star, which will take you to a secret mission. Normally, you're supposed to collect a bunch of keys to open doors while the level auto-scrolls, but with a strat called Auto-Scroller Skip, you only need the very last key. In addition to the secret star, MrCloudKirby goes for the regular star where you race against the Boo in this galaxy. Cool, on to Bubble Breeze Galaxy. For the first section, it's best to position your cursor as close to the bubble as possible to move the fastest. You can skip the second section entirely with a backflip onto these rocks, then a long jump over to the star. Normally, in Bowser Jr.'s Airship Armada, you're meant to shoot out of this cannon to the ship right in front of you, but you can actually get a little further ahead by aiming at the ship to the left and using the pole star to land safely. Apparently, you can just crouch here to avoid the spiders and cannonballs. Huh. And just like that, it's time for the Bowser Jr. fight. This battle is pretty tricky, and if something goes wrong, you can lose a lot of time here. Throw Koopa Shells at him until he goes away, and keep in mind that he turns his ship to make its hitbox smaller for the last phase. That's another Grand Star down. Before we head to the bedroom, there's a couple more stars we can get from the fountain. But first, be sure to talk to the male toad. That's not important for right now, but we'll get back to that in a bit. First, a quick stop in the Hurry Scurry Galaxy. Runners will long jump straight into the launch star instead of waiting to fall on top of it. You can also ground pound at the end to reach the star faster. Back to the Battle Rock Galaxy where you have to find yourself. The star plays out the same way as Battle Rock 1 for the most part, but then you need to guide the bullet bill underneath the saucer where the first star was. The reason we needed to talk to Male Toad was because Luigi doesn't spawn under the saucer until you receive the letter. The star is collected in both the world record and the new route. To get to the bedroom, you can just jump straight through the center of the observatory, which is something I never thought to try. What do you know? Let's start with the Freeze Flame Galaxy. To catch the penguin, you can use skating long jumps, which will come in handy throughout this level. The fastest way to accelerate to top speed on ice is by spinning, then immediately long jumping. Collect this ice flower, then triple jump up to the question block and you can reach the Sling Star that way, instead of taking the intended route across the bumps. For the Bear and Burr fight, just backflip and spin 3 times to take him out. Cool. Now on to Freeze Flame 2. This time you're collecting star chips on the opening planet. Runners will hold neutral on the control stick for a split second after breaking the crystals, because that way they can make sure they collect the star chips right away. Normally you're supposed to light torches in this part of the level, but you can actually skip some of them by collecting a life mushroom to get 3 extra hit points, then damage boosting across the lava to the end of the level. Here you can land on the platforms with the final 2 torches and light them with the fire flower, lowering the gate guarding the star. You'll notice that Vallu throws a few extra fireballs after lighting the second torch, which just serves the purpose of getting a little extra height. In Gusty Garden Galaxy, runners will spin and long jump into dandelions to get as much momentum as possible. Eventually, you'll make it to this planet, and you can triple jump onto the one with the big piranha plant. Killing it reveals a launch star. That takes you to this planet where you have to chase down a bunny. Or just long jump into it, I guess. Huh, well, we've got some unfinished business in Freeze Flame, so let's go take care of that. Runners will do a skating long jump straight into the crystal containing the launch star. Normally, to get this fire flower, you need to go around and lower the gate from the other side, but you're actually able to jump just high enough to get inside from above. Then wall jump out and book it to the torches. That'll take you to this planet, where you can just do skating long jumps to make it to the star with 1 ice flower. In Gusty Garden 2, it's important not to mess with the camera while you're on the question mark planet. When you land there, runners will do a long jump and line themselves up to stun 2 moles at the same time. The camera is important here since changing the angle manipulates their position. There's 1 more to take out and then it's onto these apple-shaped planets. Unfortunately, there's not really any potential for gravity skips here since there are invisible walls everywhere. During the boss fight, runners can shoot starbits at Major Burrows to make him easier to catch. And now it's back to Freeze Flame for a secret star. Here we see Vallu do 2 wall jumps off these perpendicular walls to reach this Sling Star instead of using an ice flower. Pick up a fire flower to reveal another Sling Star, then platform up to the power star. Next up is another race against your cosmic clone. Use skating long jumps to get across the gaps. The gravity changes a few times during this level, so keep in mind that it's best to keep the control stick neutral when that happens. That way, you won't risk flying in the wrong direction. This jump here is pretty tight if you're using Mario, but still doable. This comet is also the reason we've been switching between Freeze Flame and Gusty Garden over and over and over. We want the Prankster Comet to spawn as late as possible, because the star order changes how long it takes to get through the star selection screen. In Gusty Garden 3, you can perform Second Planet Skip, where you use backward momentum while facing away from these 2 planets to land on the third one instead. When climbing on the vine, be sure to stop shaking your controller as soon as you let go, otherwise you'll accidentally input a spin. Eventually, you'll make it to this planet where you can change the gravity. With some careful maneuvering, you can skip ahead right to the star. Wonderful. Time for another Daredevil run. This time it's a rematch against Major Burrows, whose name implies the existence of a minor Burrows. Maybe you'll be in that new Mario Rabbids game. Just do the same thing as you did last time, but play a little safer since you can't take a hit without dying this time. Vallu heads back to Gusty Garden 1 more time for the Golden Chomp Star. It starts off the same way as Gusty Garden 3, except you need to make sure to collect all the question mark coins. Doing so will reveal a Rainbow Star, which you can take to the next planet to kill a Golden Chomp to get another Power Star. Does dressing up as a bee and climbing around on honeycombs sound fun to you? No? Well, this strat might change your mind. For whatever reason, if you're pointing straight up and you hold neutral on your control stick, you can shake your controller to fly up way faster and higher than you're normally able to. You can use this glitch on the first and third planet to get to the top insanely quickly. Where are my manners? Welcome to Honeyhive Galaxy. Why yes, I'm recording this line in the middle of editing because I realized I never actually mentioned the name of the galaxy till just now. How'd you guess? This level is also great for collecting star bits, so runners will get about 150 while they're here. Bowser's Dark Matter plant is up next, and it's a difficult cycle-based level. This is a pretty time-consuming one to practice because if runners are too slow, they have to wait for everything to cycle back around. By long jumping near where the 1-up mushroom is, you can actually clip into this section with the gravity arrows. Runners take the arrows more as a friendly suggestion than, laws of physics and whatnot, and they bulldoze most of it like so. Isaac Newton is not happy with you. Take care of Bowser and that's another grand star in the books. Welcome to the engine room. First stop here is the Gold Leaf Galaxy. Am I the only one who didn't realize that this galaxy was a mirror image of Honeyhive at first? Leave a comment if you didn't either. Anyway, the first thing you have to do is collect 5 blue star chips. On the way to the next planet, runners will collect some star bits to help them with the upcoming bunny catch. Runners typically consider this to be the worst bunny in the game, but hey, Vallu still does it like 10 times faster than I ever have. Welp, that's star number 45 in the books. I am currently on page 10 of my script. I've probably gotten up to get water at least once while recording this already. Gold Leaf 2 Cataquack to the Skies involves, well, cataquacks that launch you into the sky. Runners will jump up to the top part of the cataquack so that they get just a little extra height to get to the launch star. There's another gravity skip on the second planet, and eventually you'll make it to this planet, where you can triple jump up to get this bee mushroom. Vallu uses it to fly straight up to the star, skipping most of the flowers in the process. Normally in Gold Leaf 3, when it rains, it pours, you're meant to use the bee mushroom to make your way to the top of the planet to fight the Undergrunt Gunner. But with a technique called Tree Skip, you can flip your way up to the fight without becoming an insect. Sounds like a win to me. You can skip the boss cutscene by landing on this fence, then jumping straight towards the Undergrunt Gunner with a long jump. Now it's off to Toy Time Galaxy for the Heavy Metal Mecha Bowser star. In normal play, you might use the Spring Mushroom, but you actually ignore it entirely in the speedrun. It's always possible and faster to do some combination of triple jumps, wall jumps, and backflips to get where you need to go. You can actually climb up this robot by wall jumping off its left arm. This strat is known as Armpit Skip. Back to Gold Leaf for another Cosmic Clone Race. I'm coming to the realization that this star is kinda redundant since there was also a Cosmic Comet in Honeyhive. Like, imagine having 2 Mario Kart tracks and the only difference is where the road is. Oh well. Anyway, once again you can ignore the arrows and just jump straight up to the star using this tree. Neat. Next stop, Seaside Galaxy. The first order of business is this star where Guppy has you swim through 8 rings. This level is pretty straightforward, just be sure to grab a shell so you can swim faster when you get the chance. Then it's back to Toy Time. After collecting 5 star chips on this planet, you'll be taken to a giant 8-bit Mario with 5 silver stars scattered around it. Runners will go around the planet counterclockwise to get all the silver stars. Keep in mind that the yellow platforms rotate and the green ones disappear, so traversing it can be tricky. Back to Seaside for the race against these penguins. It's kinda lame that the first 2 stars in the galaxy are just swim a lap around the planet, but oh well. Runners will use a technique called surface swimming wherever possible, which as you probably guessed, is swimming at the surface of the water. Essentially, you're just shaking the controller constantly and holding up to stay at the surface. Next up is another race around the planet star, whoopee! This time is against your cosmic clone. Basically, just do some more surface swimming to make your way to the star. Now we've got to head back to Toy Time for a secret star. Be sure to collect 50 star bits before you reach this hungry Luma. If you don't have 50, you can either wait for some more to fall from the sky or intentionally die. Feeding the Luma will unlock a planet with flip switches and tox boxes. Be sure to touch all the flip switches to get the star, and be careful since you can very easily die here. Then a Fastfo comet will appear, so you have to do it all again. Wonderful. It's also possible but unlikely to soft log here, because you can get caught inside a flip switch, but the route is still the same. One last stop in Gold Leaf for the secret star. This one involves getting in a bubble and blowing yourself around to hit a bunch of music notes. There isn't really a need to go fast, which is ironic considering this is a video about the speedrun, but it's also really easy to miss a few of the notes, so just do the star as carefully as you need to. Alright fellas, we're in the home stretch. Next up is Buoy-based Galaxy. If you're using Luigi, make sure you're not spinning the entire time you're in the water, since you run out of air faster if you do. Mario doesn't have to worry about that though. Have a Torpedo Ted destroy the weight and make your way to the top of the tower. Normally you're meant to collect Pole Star chips, but you're actually able to just barely get enough height with the spring to get to the Pokeball planet without the Pole Stars. There's also a secret star here, and once again you can skip the cutscene where you fly into the galaxy since we've already done Buoy Base 1. Have a torpedo Ted destroy this cage to grant you access to the pipe which will suck you in. Then get a bullet bill to destroy the cage with the green star inside. Cool, only 2 more stars to go before the final level. By this point in the run you should have 600 star bits. There's a hungry Luma outside the kitchen who will give you access to Drip Drop Galaxy once you feed it. If you don't have 600 yet, a good option for starbit farming is Ghostly 2. Like in Gusty Garden 2 with the moles, you can use the camera to manipulate the eel's movement. Kill all 3 and that's the star. Head back to talk to the male toad to unlock the last star we need, Luigi and the Honeyhive Kingdom. Follow the same movement as Honeyhive 2 till you reach the tree Luigi is hiding on, then either spin against the tree or shoot star bits at him. Then he'll give you star number 60. Cool, now time to head to the center of the universe. Yeah, that escalated quickly. 1 minute you're hanging with the bees and now this. Normally, this first section is all about staying within these spotlights to change the gravity so you stick to the wall, but you can actually skip over most of them. You can skip the second planet entirely by damage boosting across the lava. On the ice planet, just go straight and do a series of skating long jumps. Once again, you can skip most of the sand planet with a quick long jump. Be careful with the fire bars on the next planet, then make your way through the Bullet Bill planet with another lava boost. And it's time for the final Bowser fight. For the first phase, Bowser will jump to create shockwaves. Once he eventually turns into a boulder, then you can start attacking him. If you miss hitting him again while he's spinning around on a shell, you have to do this phase over again. Do that one more time and it's on to phase 2. Runners will hit this, rubbery bulb, and yes, that's what they're called, to their left to send Bowser spinning right away. Once again, rinse and repeat one more time and it's on to the final phase. Runners will damage boost through the third shockwave Bowser creates here to cut his animations short. That way he'll burn his tail faster and you can start attacking him again. Damage boost off Bowser himself for the last hit of the fight, knock him around a few more times, and that's the game. Well, here we are, about 1 trillion minutes into this video. Thanks for watching this overview of the Super Mario Galaxy World Record speedruns. Check out the game's speedrunning Discord server if you're interested in running the game. Please yell at me if I forgot to put any links down there. I'll see you all in the next one. Good night fellas, sleep well.